In this lecture, we are going to start with the concept of heaps. What is meant by heap actually? So far, we have seen various linear and non-linear data structures. Linear data structures such as stack, queue, linked list, double linked list. The way of arranging the data elements in a linear fashion so that the insertion, searching, and all other operations will be happened in the linear time. These are the linear data structures. Next, we have moved on to the tree data structures, that is the general tree operations, then binary trees, binary search tree, then AVL tree, then B tree, and introduction to B plus tree. These are the concepts we have seen. The ultimate aim of moving from the linear data structures to the tree based data structures is to have the efficient searching time of elements, at the same time to have faster accessing of the elements. Here the faster accessing is in terms of inserting the elements into the data structure and also deleting the elements from the data structure, and also for the searching operation. We have seen in the linear data structures such as stack and queue. Stack represents the last in first out operation or first in fashion, and queue will be operated in the first in first out fashion. So first in first out means whatever the element that comes or that will be inserted first will be removed first. Or we can also say that first come first serve. In general, whenever any admission or any kind of things are happening, they will write the admission or seat will be allotted on the first come first serve basis. So this is the allotment or allotment process that are fixed by the organization. Like that, this FCFS in general can be implemented with the help of queue. So far, we have seen these data structures as the container of holding some elements, and whenever the user asks for something, then these elements will be returned to the users based upon some optimistic complexities. So we have seen up to this level only. That means our idea of these data structures is up to here only. But actually, where these exactly data structures are useful? These data structures are especially useful in solving the real world problems. What are the real world problems? The problems that are occurred or that will occur in solving the computer algorithms. Now, we are going to see a specialized data structure called heap. This heap is especially used in the many of the server operating systems, or not only server operating systems, but almost all operating systems, for the purpose of picking up of the jobs. Here, here in stack, the operation of the stack is in the last in first out fashion. That means assume that there are several jobs in a computer to solve, like J1, J2, J3, J4, J5, like that, and so on up to Jn. These are the jobs available in the computer. That means these are the jobs that are going to be submitted to the computer, so that the computer has to process these jobs. How these jobs will be in general will be solved. So for this, the computer may either choose a stack or queue data structure, or the hardware configuration may be with stack and queue data structures. For example, if you might have given print of 100 pages, and the printer will be having the option of the printing of the pages. If you might have selected last page to be printed first, if you might have given 100 pages, always the 100th page will come first for the printing, and the first page will come as the last print. Where in case of, if you might have opted for the sequence of or sequence printing, then the first page will come for the printing first, then 100th page will come for the printing at the end. That means based upon the option that you choose, the order of printing takes place. That means if you might have selected the option, the first option, the last that will entered into the printer will print first. That is what they call stack kind of operation. Where in case of, if you might have selected the second option, that is in the sequence of giving the input, then the first page that will enter into the printer, that is the page number 1, that will be printed first, and the 100th page will be printed at the end. These are the jobs actually. So these are the jobs you are submitted to the print computer, and the computer or the device, whatever it may be. It may be a printer, or it may be a scanner, or it may be a computer, or it may be any other device where this facility is available, or this particular feature of stack and queues are available. Whenever the jobs are submitted in bunch, the processing of the jobs will be done in the either last in first out or first in last out fashion. Now, assume that these jobs are in a normal situation and they are executing normally. But all jobs cannot be done in a same fashion. The reason is each and every job will be associated with an attribute called priority. That is priority. The priority will be there. So the priorities of these jobs are also equally important. The priority indicates that the significance of the job to execute. For example, if your computer was struck, or if the computer is not responding for around half minute or 1 minute, the immediate operation that what you do is Control Alt Delete. Then you will open the task manager and will kill the process that is giving you trouble. This is the general way of doing. But when the system was struck up and nothing is going to be operated, but whenever you press Control or Delete, the task manager will come onto the screen. How it is possible? That means this task manager has been given the highest priority than all other jobs that are running on the computer. That means you have each and every application or each and every job or process that are running on the computer is having their own priorities. For example, if you might have fixed that always the jobs must be executed in the first in first out fashion, then the first process has submitted around 100 jobs. Then the second process required to execute 2 jobs. But what happened here? Till the first 100 jobs are executed, the second process cannot be considered by the computer. That means the second process, even though it is having few number of jobs to execute or only 2 jobs to execute, it has to wait till all the first 100 jobs are executed. To have better understanding, consider this example. You have gone to a photostat shop and you are supposed to take your Aadhaar card as a photostat. That is an urgent one. Only one photostat you are supposed to take. And you have gone to photostat shop. By the time the photostat, that shopkeeper or shop person is already taking a book as the photostat. That book consisting of around 200 pages. He is maybe at the 110th page for the taking of the photostat. So you are supposed to wait at least 140 pages to complete till your turn has to come. That means you need to wait till 140 pages next to take only one page as a print. That means even though you are in badly need of doing that job, but the system is not allowing because the shopkeeper or shop person is taking the first 250 pages, then only he is allowing other person to other photostat to take. This is not a fair process. That means the computer has to process the jobs based upon the priority. Then only that particular computer can serve many number of jobs. So that is the reason whenever the priorities are there, the computer must execute the jobs according to the priority. So for that, the priority plays a major role. Usually, the priorities will be fixed like that. Uh, Between 1 to 10 range, the priorities will be fixed in many of the operating systems. Like or in a categorical way, the priority will be fixed like a low, medium, high, very high, uh, top priorities. Like that, the categorical divisions may be made, or maybe via giving numbers to the processes or jobs, the priority will be fixed. For example, in this example, jobs are J1, J2, J3, J4, J5. Assume that the priorities are 1 and 5, 7, 8, 10, and there may be another priority. Say, for example, one here J5 is around 2. So these are the sequence of jobs that are submitted to the system. And if the system is following queue, obviously it will process first J1, next J2, J3, J4, next then J5. But actually the priority of J5 is 2. The J5 should be executed after J1, then J2 to be executed, J3 to be executed, and J4 to be executed. If this is the proper way of executing, if the priority is given. But if it is blindly following the simple queue fashion, then it is a very difficult task for J5 to execute, because J5 is having the 2 as a priority, which is a important priority. This priority order, you may assume that sometimes 1 may be considered as the highest priority and 10 may be considered as the lowest priority. Depends upon the category that you mention, or depends upon the assignment that you made. But in general, 1 will be considered as a very low priority, and 5 will be considered as the normal priority, and 10 will be considered as the maximum priority. So here, out of these jobs, consider the category that we have made. 1 is the very low priority, 5 is the normal priority, and 10 is the maximum priority. Now, in this entire sequence of jobs, which job to be executed first? The job to be executed first is 8, because 8 is having the maximum priority, highest priority. So J4 should be executed first, followed by J3, then J2, J5, and J1. This is the way of executing. So whenever you execute the jobs according to the priority, then it is said to be a priority based execution. So that is the reason this priority based execution has been introduced in the operating systems. That is the reason whenever you press Control Alt Delete, the task manager is coming onto the desktop, even though the entire computer was struck up. So that is the reason since the task manager is having the maximum priority than all other processes, whenever you request it, automatically it is coming onto the desktop screen. So this is what the basic idea of the job operations or job executions based upon the priority. In general, the operating systems uses various scheduling algorithms. That is CPU scheduling algorithms. The CPU scheduling algorithms are like this: first come, first serve. Whatever the job comes first, that will be executed first. Next is SJF, shortest job first. So whatever the shortest job is there, that will be executed first. That means your Aadhaar card has to be taken as a printout or photostat. This is the shortest job that will be executed first always. So like that. Next one is round robin fashion. Round robin fashion. So many of the football matches will be conducted in the round robin fashion. So this is one kind of round robin scheduling. And next one is priority execution, priority based execution based on the priority of job. So these are the different ways. There are many other ways that the CPU will handle the jobs for execution. However, we are going to see the priority based execution here. Anyhow, the shortest job first and round robin fashion that can be executed normally. FCFS, first come first serve, that can be executed with the help of queue. But for the queue, whenever you want to execute the things in a priority fashion or according to the priority, then have you observed here or not? The jobs, to hold jobs, one array is required, and to hold priority, another array is required. So whenever you implement queue way of execution plus priorities, then you need to have two arrays. But for the reason is one array is for the queue, one array is for queue, and one for priority. So one array is for the queue and one array is for the priority. That means in queue programming we have seen the queue is operated only with the one array. Where in case of if you maintain the priorities with the queue, you need to maintain two arrays and you need to manipulate the two arrays. We have already seen that queue operation searching can be done in the order of n time and insertion can be done in the order of one time. So this is a way of doing with the queues. But and another thing is queue is a linear data structure. That means everything will be done in the linear fashion. But we need a program that will achieve log n complexity for maintaining this priority queue. So log n complexity is only possible whenever you use trees. That already we have seen in the binary trees, binary search trees, AVL trees and all. So why can't we arrange these priorities with the help of trees so that the task of executing the maximum priority process or priority job will be first and minimum priority will be at the end, and based upon this particular priority arrangement, and how can we pick up the maximum priority process faster compared to the linear data structure. This is what the basic idea of going to the concept of a specialized data structure called heap. This key heap in general is also called as priority queues. This particular heap data structure or heap data structure is a specialized data structure, especially will operate with the priority of the jobs. Whenever the priority of the job is arranged in a fashion that the order of or the time taken to pick up the maximum process, maximum priority process or maximum priority job or minimum priority job will be of complexity 1, then it is very fast to access it and to process it. This is what the basic idea of these particular heaps. So heaps will also use as tree data structures. What are the tree data structures that we have studied so far? Those tree data structures will be used for arranging the priorities in the max to min or min to max. This is what the basic concept of heaps, why we are supposed to study heaps. And one more thing is, almost all the operating systems will use this heap property for scheduling the jobs, scheduling the processes, and recovering the processes. That is the reason whenever you press Control Alt Delete, the task manager is coming out because it is arranging a heap in the memory so that the highest priority process will be always on the top. Whenever user requests, it will be appeared onto the screen. So this is what the basic idea of heap. In this lecture, we are going to see this heaps concept. So heap is a specialized data structure to hold the priorities such that the insertion and searching, insertion, deletion, and searching of the priorities will be done in a log or constant complexity. So heap may be implemented using linear queue by maintaining two arrays or via tree, that is non-linear DS data structure. So in general, there are various forms of implementing heap. The implementation of the heaps are in the form of binary heap, binomial heap, and the third one is Fibonacci heap. Binary heap will use the binary tree as the inbuilt or baseline data structure. That means the binary heap will use the binary tree property for building up the heap. Whereas binomial and Fibonacci will also use the tree properties. They use the tree properties. But the way of arranging the elements differ from the binary heap. In this binary heap, the binary tree property, especially the complete binary tree, is used for as a structural property. So in the binary heap, especially the complete binary tree structure is used as the structural property. And along with this one, there will be another property called heap order property. This heap order property are in the min heap or max heap. So these are the two properties that are available in the heap order property. Min heap means the root element should have the minimum element. While going down the tree, every parent element should be the lower element or should be less than or equal to its children. This is what they call min heap property. Where in case of max heap property, the root node should always be the maximum element. While going down the tree, every parent node should be, that means every node should be greater than or equal to its children. This is what the heap order property. And at the same time, any heap data structure consisting of two properties. First property is structural property. The structural property for the binary heap is a complete binary tree. Where in case of heap order property, the arrangement of the elements. So the arrangement of the elements in the min heap or max heap fashion. In the min heap, always the root consisting of the minimum element. As we are going down the tree, every node in the tree will be less than or equal to its parent. While coming to the max heap property, the root node consisting of the maximum element. While coming down the tree, every node will be having the element which is greater than or equal to its children. Why we are going to fix that, or why we are going to arrange in such a fashion that always the root element must be the maximum element in the case of maximum heap. Root element must be minimum element as a case of minimum heap. The reason is, in any tree, what you visit first. If you want to visit a tree, always the tree will be visited from the root. That means if the root itself is having the maximum element, then our problem is solved. Our aim is achieved. What is that aim? Within the constant complexity. That means we are going to pick the first element, which is at the root element, then automatically the complexity will be constant, that is 1. Hence, this particular heap order property will be maintained along with the structural property, so that the log complexity and constant complexities can be achieved. As part of this course, we are going to see the binary heap property. Further, this binary heap we are going to implement. Implementation is with the help of array. In any array, whenever the tree can be represented in an array, when tree is represented in array, if the root index is m, then left child index is 2m plus 1. Right child index is 2m plus 2. Assume that the root index is 0. That means there exists an element at the index 0. Then the left child is 2 into 0 plus 1. That is, the index 1 is the left child. And right child is 2 into 0 plus 1. Plus 2, sorry. Here, correction. The right child index is 2m plus 2. That is 2 into 0 plus 2. That is, index is 2. Assume that the root index is 3. Then the left child index is 2, 3 plus 1. 2 into 3. That is 6 plus 1. And it is 6 plus 2. That is 8. That is which is called the right child index. And if a node index is m, then its parent index is m by 2. Here, right child index is, say for example, 2 when the root is 0 as the index, at the index 0. Then the right child index can be calculated like this: m by 2. That is 2 by 2, which is at 1. And one more thing is, the order of or this particular indexing can be, or this particular arrangement is also depending upon at where you are going to use this particular, or at which position you are initializing the array. For example, if you arrange the root at or the index at 0, then this will be applicable. If the index is at 1, then this may not be applicable. This may be applicable at 2m and 2m plus 1. Okay, it depends upon the initialization of the index, root index especially. If the root index is at 0, then you need to change this particular left and right child values. Or if the index is m, index is at 1, then m is equal to 1 and left child is 2m and right child is 2m plus 1. This is purely based on the programming, whether you take the root index as 0 or root index as 1. Now we'll move on to the discussion of the heap with the lecture notes that I have given to you. Priority queues are heaps. Some jobs may need to execute according to the priority, as I just now explained to you. A list of jobs printed to print are placed in the queue, but the job 1 requires 100 pages to print, and whereas the job 2 requires only 1 page to print. So job 1 started execution, job 2 has to wait till all 100 pages are printed. So a priority queue is important. Implement shortest job will be given higher priority and will be executed first. Basic operations on the priority queue are the insertion, that is inserting the element into the queue. Here inserting the element in the sense, here the element is priority value. Deleting the minimum, that is deleting the root element. Whenever you delete the root element, you need to perform the swapping operations from the bottom of the tree and bring the next minimum element onto the root. Importance of the priority queue, it is used widely in the external sorting techniques. Whatever the sorting techniques we have studied in our course are the internal sorting techniques. The reason is these elements are sorted within the main memory. External sorting techniques are one where the sorting will be implemented on the external devices such as hard disk. These priority queues used widely in greedy algorithms. There exists an algorithm design technique called greedy algorithm design technique. Especially these queues are used in the greedy algorithms. Used in discrete event simulation, as I discussed just now, this is especially used in the simulating the real world things. Implementation of the priority queues, we may use the nonlinear data structures and also linear data structures. But if you use the linear data structures like linked list, then if it is not sorted, if the linked list is not sorted, searching and insertion will take in order of n and order of 1 complexities respectively. But if it is in sorted order, then the complexities will be taken as order of 1 and order of n respectively. So the reason we could use a nonlinear data structure called binary search tree, in which all the operations are in order of log n complexity. But in this, insertion are random, but deletion are not. Insertion can be done in a random fashion, but the deletion cannot be done in a random fashion. Because we need to take care of 3 cases. One is whether the deleting node is having the children or not. If we don't have any children, it is a leaf node, we can directly delete it. What to do if the deleting node is having the left child? What to do if the deleting node is having the right child? These two things we are supposed to take care of. So the reason this is also not a suitable data structure for implementing the priority, because our aim is to achieve the log and constant complexity. So data structure which will take log n in the worst case time for both operations is going to be introduced, which insertion actually takes constant average time. The implementation will be known as binary heap. Just now, as I told you, we are going to see the binary heap concept in that. In the context of priority queues, when the word heap is used without a qualifier, it is generally assumed and referred to this implementation of the data structure. That means whenever I say heap, and if I have not used any qualifier, then by default, you are supposed to assume the heap is binary heap. If I have used a specialized qualifier, I want to implement a binomial heap, then you have to go for binomial heap. If I want to implement Fibonacci heap, then you are supposed to go for Fibonacci heap. But if I simply say heaps, then you are supposed to think it as a binary heap. This particular implementation is having 2 properties. One is structural property, another is heap order property. Structural property, a heap is a binary tree that is completely filled, which is a complete binary tree. In complete binary tree, what is the condition? In complete binary tree, every level except possibly the last level is filled. That means last but one level should be completely filled. And how it should be filled? It should be filled mostly at the left side. All the nodes are far left as possible. These are the two conditions that are supposed to be maintained in the complete binary tree. Complete binary tree of height h has nodes exactly between 2 power h and 2 power h plus 1, h minus 1. So that is the reason whenever this particular thing is maintained, automatically it is in the power of 2. And since it is you are going to maintain the structural property as the binary tree, always you will achieve log h complexity. So as the height of the tree is maintained, that particular complexity that you will achieve. Height of the complete binary tree is lower order, that is lower bound log n, and the order is order of log n. Because complete binary tree is regular, it can be represented using arrays. So our aim is to implement the priority queues with the help of arrays. Since the complete binary tree is a regular one, that is the reason we can implement the complete binary tree in the using arrays. The reason is the complete binary tree uses the two properties, such as the first property is the except last but one level, except last level, the last but till last but one level, all the nodes should be filled. And the second property is all the elements must be filled almost at the left side. So because of this property, it is the thing will be in the proper order, so it can be implemented using arrays. For any element in array, the position I, the left child is 2i and the right child is calculated like 2i plus 1, and the parent will be I by 2. This is the complete binary tree, except that is last but one level is completely filled. Last but one level is completely filled. The last level is H, I, and J, and all the nodes were filled at the left side. Here, anyhow, there is no children for the F and G, but whenever the E is having child, it is filled at the left side. So the array is A, B, C, D, E, F up to J, and this is the indexing. If you consider the array 0, and here I have considered the index of the root as 1. Its left child is 1 plus 1, that is I plus, 2i, and right child is 2i plus 1. Like that, the arrangement will be made. In this implementation, heap size should be known in advance. What is the heap size? That means how many number of jobs you are supposed to arrange in the heap fashion. That count must be known before. Then only we can arrange this particular heap in a correct way. Heap order property is the next property that need to be maintained, because we are trying to find minimum quickly. It makes sure that the minimum element should be at the root. For every node x, the key in the parent of x is smaller than the key in x with the exemption of the root. Consider the elements 13, 21, 16, like that up to 32. Now, whenever you build the tree, here 13, 21, 16. That is 13 is at the root index is at the root, and with the index I is equal to 1. Its left child is 2i, okay, 21. Right child is 16. And 24, 31, 65, 26, like that this particular arrangement was made. Perform the basic operation, insertion operation. The basic operations are like this: the insertion operation and delete minimum or find minimum. So in this, what is the minimum element? The minimum element is 13 only. So we can directly pick this particular 13 out, because always we will visit the root first. Whenever this 13 was picked out or taken out, this particular place will become empty. This place should be filled with the next smallest element. In this, what is the next smallest element available? The next smallest element available is 16. So 16 must be placed here and the entire tree must be readjusted. This is the way of operation that we are supposed to perform. In the above heap tree, we are trying to insert 14. So in this, if you try to insert 14, the steps will be done like this. Create a hole in the next available heap location. In this tree construction, what is the next slot you are supposed to place here? The next slot to be arranged as the right child of 31, because we are supposed to arrange the elements according to this property, that is I, 2i plus 1, I plus 2, 2i and 2i plus 1. This is the way you are supposed to arrange the tree. And remember, don't confuse that here we are not using binary search tree. Here it's a binary tree. Okay, don't mix up the binary search tree concept here. Binary search tree is different, and here binary tree we are using. The binary tree construction, that too we are supposed to construct the complete binary tree. The complete binary tree arrangement will be like this. You have ended up the insertion of the element at the left of 31, then the next element must be inserted at the right of 31. This is the way you are supposed to insert it. Here we are not comparing with the root and going to the left or deciding whether to go for the left or right. That is binary search tree. Here we are supposed to go for binary tree implementation, that is complete binary tree. In this, the insertion will be done based upon the last index where the element is inserted. Create a hole in the next available heap location. Check whether the insertion of the element is violating the heap order or not. If so, slide down the elements in the hole. Check for the exact fit. This operation is known as percolate up operation. The new element is percolated up the heap until the current location is found. Now, you are supposed to insert the element at the right side of 31. So create a hole, that means create an empty hole here. Now you check whether insertion of this 14 is going to violate the heap order property or not. Because now we are going to implement the minimum heap. In the minimum heap, root should be minimum and every node should be less than or equal to its children. But whenever I insert 14 here, it is violating the heap order property because 31 is not lower than 14, because 31 is greater than 14. So that is the reason we cannot insert 14 directly here. For that, what we are supposed to do, we need to bring this 31 into this place. That means we need to swap this 31 to this empty space. Now this empty space will become, this space will become empty. Now 31 is there. If I insert 14 here, that means if I insert 14 here, whether the heap order property is maintained or not. Here we are using minimum heap. The heap order property means its parent must be lower than the current element. Okay. So whenever you insert 14 here, obviously 14 is lower than 21. That means here 21 is greater than 14. So we cannot insert here. So 21 must be brought down here. That is 21 must be brought down here. Next you place 14 here. Now whether the 14 insertion of this 14 at this place is violating the heap order property or not? No. The reason, the root node, that is 13, is lower than 14. Hence this particular insertion is not violating the heap order property. So 14 will be inserted here. How this 14 will be inserted? Now assume that the 14 to be placed at the position M in the array. Position means the index M. So I don't know whether I don't know who is its parent. How I come to know? Now M by 2. So who is the M by 2? 31. Now compare 31 with the inserting element 14. 31 is greater than 14. So that is the reason you should place 31 in the position M and move to the M by 2 position. Okay. So let M by 2 position is there. So let M by 2 position is equal to N. Now you have came to N. Now how can you come to know the parent of N? N by 2. Now you will go to the 21. Now 21 is compared with the 14. 21 is greater than 14. So we cannot insert this. So 21 should be brought down to N by 2 position. So that will be 21 will come to this empty slot. Now this particular slot will become empty. So let N by 2 is equal to X. Now what is the parent of X? X by 2. Now you come to X by 2. Now what you are supposed to do, this particular slot is empty. Now you are supposed to insert the 14 here. Whenever you want to insert 14 here, what you are supposed to do, you are supposed to check its parent. Now you know this is X, then check for the X by 2. So 13 will be compared with 14. So 13 is less than 14. So you fix or you insert 14 in the position X. So that means here you are supposed to swap these positions. You know the swapping operation. We will take a temporary variable and we will place this value in the temporary variable. In the temporary variable, what is the element to be swapped, that will be placed. This is the way of swapping temporary using temporary variable that you are aware of. So 31 should be swapped in this. This empty space should be placed swapped here. And this empty space, assume that 14 to be inserted in this empty space and compare with its parent. If the heap order property is violated, then perform swapping. Like that, you have to swap till up. That is the reason this particular operation is said to be percolating up. This is the percolate up operation. This is the way you are supposed to insert the element into the heap tree. So this is the code: insert constant t. If the tree is not full, then the whole is equal to plus size. For nothing, whole is greater than 1 because index is 1 we have considered, and X is less than array of whole by 2. You are supposed to go up in the by 2 position, because whenever you know the index is M, then its parent index is M by 2. Array of whole is equal to array of whole by 2 and array of whole is equal to X. This is a swapping operation that you are supposed to perform in the insertion. So in this lecture, we have seen what is meant by heap and how to maintain the heap structure with the structural property and the heap order property. And also we have seen the insertion operation and rest of the operations that we'll see in the next lecture.